me and said, it's yours. You're responsible for it. If I didn't want Shannon Sharpe at First Take, Shannon Sharpe wouldn't be at First Take.
Absolutely.
That's just how I roll.
You one of the few, Steve. I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upset.
Looking at you, my brother, and I say this affectionately, you might be one of the dumbest folks on the planet.
Imagine being a 57-year-old retired NFL superstar worth millions of dollars, has 2 daughters and a son, works for ESPN, and you throw away your whole reputation because you wanted to go mess around with an OF model that is 30 years younger than you.
I'm not going to speak to one's innocence or one's guilt about something I have absolutely positively no knowledge of whatsoever. Do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of what he has been accused of? Absolutely not. That is my personal opinion. The brother that I've come to know, I don't believe would assault or anybody, and I'm going to state that emphatically. But just as emphatically, I'm going to remind everybody it is my opinion because of what I feel about him. Not in any way implying that I know a damn thing.
Now the whole internet is watching Shannon Sharpe crash and burn, and guess who's fueling the fire with a smirk? Stephen A. Smith. He didn't just throw shade, he dragged Shannon on national TV and practically declared his career DOA. And the craziest part? Shannon handed him the ammo. A resurfaced clip of Stephen straight up roasting Shannon has been making serious noise online. Not because of the usual back and forth, but because Stephen made it very clear he ain't rocking with Shannon, and he doesn't believe the man can bounce back from this mess. Fans were shook at how cold Stephen came off, asking out loud, is he trying to ruin Shannon on purpose? Was this part of a bigger ESPN power move that Shannon got caught in? Did Stephen A. know something the rest of us didn't? Or was this just some low-key envy finally boiling over? Whatever the case, things got ugly real fast. And what came out next had folks looking at Shannon Sharpe like they never had before. See, if you've been watching closely, Shannon's fall-off hasn't exactly been quiet. He went from being the internet's favorite loud uncle to a walking L, all after getting wrapped up in multiple lawsuits that painted him in a shady light. But here's what most people didn't know. After settling a recent case with model Gabrielle, Shannon didn't just take a hit. He reportedly walked away broke and drowning in debt. And Stephen A.? Oh, he saw it coming from a mile away. He hit the set and spent a whole 20 minutes tearing into Shannon's choices. Sure, he tried to pretend he was giving tough love, but fans weren't fooled. They saw the side eyes, the sarcasm, the barely hidden smirk. It was giving, I told you so, without even saying it. You could hear it in Stephen A.'s tone, like he was low-key celebrating Shannon's downfall. The man didn't even try to hide it. Like he was enjoying watching Shannon's empire crumble in real time. But here's where it gets crazy. Just months ago, nobody, not even Shannon, saw this crash coming. After that explosive Cat Williams interview went viral, Shannon's Club Shay Shay podcast blew up. It became the #1 most watched sports pod on YouTube. Dude was unstoppable. Then came the big headline, Front Office Sports dropped a bombshell in April 2025. Shannon was about to ink a $100 million deal for his podcast. That would have made him the highest paid athlete turned media host in the game. Add his ESPN checks and brand deals on top, Shannon was running the whole media block. But just like that, it all collapsed. Right when Shannon was at the top, the bomb hit. OnlyFans model Gabrielle Zuniga slapped him with a lawsuit so graphic, fans couldn't believe it was real. And here's the twist. Stephen A. allegedly knew about the lawsuit before it hit the public. So when he went on air with those sly digs at Shannon, it wasn't random shade. He was speaking from inside info. Brr. And if you were paying attention to the signs, it was obvious. Shannon's days at ESPN were ticking down. But that wasn't even the worst part. Gabrielle's original demand, a jaw-dropping $50 million. Shannon's reaction? Straight disrespect, he laughed it off and called it a money grab. He even threatened to countersue both Gabrielle and her lawyer, Tony Busby, for extortion and defamation. In clips from back then, Shannon looked unshaken, cocky even, like he thought he had it all under control. The internet exploded the second those recordings hit the timeline, and let's be real, it wasn't hard to see why. In the first clip, you can actually hear Shannon threatening Gabrielle with violence, no sugarcoating it. Then in the second, the entire vibe shifts. Gabrielle's voice changes like she's genuinely scared for her safety. People were shook, asking, what is going on here? And just like that, the pressure hit maximum. Stephen A. Smith, who'd been holding back, finally snapped. He came out swinging, and what he said caught everyone off guard. Remember, Steven and Shannon weren't just co-workers. Steven had helped build Shannon's media career. He was the reason Shannon got that Fox deal back in the day. They were tight, or so everyone thought. So naturally, fans expected Steven to defend his longtime friend, or at least stay neutral until the legal dust settled. But nah, Steven flipped the script. He went live and basically said, "Look, I can't defend this man anymore." And he didn't stop there, not even close. Steven took it personal, blaming Shannon straight up for sabotaging his own career. He said Shannon had been out here indulging in reckless behavior that was always going to catch up with him. Then he flexed hard, bragging, "You'll never catch me slipping like that." It was cold, but calculated. He didn't name names, but everyone caught the hint. He was talking about Shannon's long trail of messy link-ups with way younger white women. Public, loud, risky, and clearly about to cost him everything. The exact payout? Still sealed tight. But insiders are whispering that Shannon might have coughed up close to the full $50 million Gabriel originally demanded. And that hit? It wrecked more than just his pride. It torched his finances. Between that massive settlement and sky-high legal bills, Shannon's money moves started looking real shaky. And then Gabby came back with a curveball. She posted a smug little announcement saying she was officially retiring from OnlyFans, right after the settlement cleared. She didn't say a word about the case, didn't mention Shannon, didn't talk about healing, trauma, or any other victim. Nah, she just dropped that retirement post like a mic and walked off smiling. Of course, people clocked it immediately. The timing was too perfect. It didn't feel like closure. It felt like cash out. A lot of folks started side-eyeing the whole thing, wondering, was this a setup? And if it wasn't, then what exactly was on those tapes that made Shannon switch up so hard? He went from flexing about filing his own lawsuits to signing checks and going dead silent. That move had people questioning everything. But for Shannon, that wasn't even rock bottom. That was just the start of the collapse. Because after the Gabby scandal blew up, other skeletons started crawling out of the shadows. And they weren't just whispers, they were receipts. Turns out, Gabrielle Zuniga wasn't the first woman to take Shannon to court over inappropriate behavior. Back in the day, another woman, Michelle Evans, his ex, had already filed a very similar lawsuit. That case didn't go viral at the time, but now, it's resurfacing fast. And what's coming out is not painting Shannon in a good light. Michelle Evans isn't done with Shannon, not even close. She's back with a brand new lawsuit, this time hitting him for defamation and demanding a staggering $16 million. And here's the kicker. Word is, Michelle's got serious receipts, the kind that could finish Shannon off for good. If what she's holding makes it to court, Shannon might be forced to pay again. And this time, it could bury him financially. But wait, it gets worse. Once hailed as the it guy in sports media, Shannon's image is in total freefall. Fans used to ride hard for him. Now, they don't even want to see his face on screen. It's like public opinion did a full 180. He's gone from beloved uncle figure to someone the internet flat out calls creepy. The fall off is loud, and here's the real sting. People tried to warn him. Clips from old Club Shay interviews are going viral again, but not in a good way. Fans are dragging him for brushing off every warning he ever got. One clip in particular has folks furious, when actress Monique straight up told him to stop fooling around with women young enough to be his daughter. She warned him clear as day that kind of lifestyle was going to catch up with him, that if he didn't chill, it would all come crashing down. And now, people are calling her a prophet. But if Monique came in with subtle concern, Cat Williams came in with blunt force truth. In a resurfaced clip from their viral sit-down, Cat didn't pull any punches. He said what everyone else was too scared to say. And watching it now, it's like watching Shannon's downfall being predicted in real time. Cat Williams didn't sugarcoat anything. He straight up told Shannon, "Fame won't save you." He said, "You could be loved today and canceled tomorrow, just ask Kang the Conqueror." That warning, it hit different now. Especially as these old clips resurface and fans start connecting the dots. The theory online? Shannon's financial collapse didn't come out of nowhere. It's tied to every single scandal he got wrapped up in over the last few years. One TikTok user went off, calling it all predictable. Fans piled into the comments to echo the same thing. Shannon, this all could have been avoided if you just listened to Kat and Monique. They were literally sitting next to you, dropping gems, and you ignored everyone. And now the big question, was this a setup? Or did Shannon walk himself straight into destruction? Either way, it all came crashing down when Shannon got hit with the final blow, a termination email from ESPN. No headlines, no drama, just a cold, corporate goodbye. For those who don't know, hosting First Take was Shannon's biggest check in the game. But the moment word leaked that he dropped millions to settle the lawsuit, execs at ESPN pulled the plug. Insiders say Shannon was devastated, not because he lost a job, but because it confirmed what he feared most. His reputation was toast. ESPN didn't want to be tied to the scandal, and cutting him loose sent a loud message without saying a word. And here's where it gets even more humiliating. Shannon's podcast numbers tanked, his sponsors ghosted, his merch line delayed indefinitely. And now, he's reportedly trying to offload his luxury real estate, including that flashy Atlanta mansion he used to flex all over Instagram. At this point, Shannon Sharpe looks like he's throwing everything at the wall, hoping something sticks. But it's not working, and fans are starting to connect the dots. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any messier, Stephen A. Smith dropped the coldest move yet. He unfollowed Shannon on Instagram, and just like that, the internet lost its mind. Because now it's clear, this ain't just business, it's personal. Reports say Stephen A. ain't even picking up Shannon's calls anymore. Radio silence. For two guys who used to be tight, that's loud. Meanwhile, Shannon's club numbers have been sliding fast ever since the Cat Williams interview went viral. That high? Gone. Every guest since then? Compared to Cat. And none of them are hitting the same. He's chasing ghosts now, as Desar, and fans are watching it all unravel. One comment summed it up perfectly. This might be the biggest fumble in sports media history. And then came the nightcap video, the one where Shannon finally decided to break his silence. The internet exploded. Everyone expected an apology, some accountability, maybe even a moment of humility. But nah, what they got was straight deflection. In the clip, you can hear the shame in Shannon's voice when he talks about leaving ESPN. But instead of owning up to anything, he dances around it. No real accountability, no self-awareness, just excuses. And fans, they were brutal in the comments. Shannon didn't learn a thing. Bro, take responsibility for your actions. Look in the mirror and fix how you move, with business and with these women. But the fans weren't the only ones with something to say, because just when the dust started to settle, Stephen A. Smith came back swinging. And let's just say he wasn't holding back. Stephen A. Smith didn't just distance himself, he jumped on camera and laughed in Shannon's face. The video went viral instantly and started flooding every platform. And it wasn't just because Stephen was bashing him publicly, it was who was doing the bashing that hit the hardest. This man was supposed to be Shannon's friend, a real one, somebody who had his back when the lights weren't on. So when Stephen hopped on the mic and basically led the smear campaign, that sent shockwaves through the industry. The clip says it all, the tone, the sarcasm, the little smirk. He wasn't just commenting, he was clowning. And that's when it became crystal clear. Stephen A. had flipped. And for Shannon, it's rock bottom. Once respected, once the OG with wisdom, authority, and presence. Now he's the joke, the guy who blew the bag, lost the mic, and got roasted by the very person he thought would ride for him. But here's the savage truth. Stephen A. didn't have to destroy him. He just sat back and let Shannon self-destruct. And now, Stephen's still on top, still hosting, still trending, still controlling the conversation. Meanwhile, Shannon's gone quiet, real quiet. And so have all those so-called friends who once hyped him up when the checks were rolling in. This wasn't just a fall from grace. This was a free fall with no parachute, and it all played out in front of the entire internet. Let us know what you think about this whole meltdown. Drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.